Alrighty guys, so in this video I'm actually gonna share the authority pyramid with you. So I'm gonna show you why most hypnotists and the healers stay stuck about $75 in a session, and I'm gonna show you the exact path to actually charge premium prices with full confidence. So why do hypnotists with the same certification charge widely different prices? There's a hypnotist A who charge about $95 in a session to $150 in a session, and they hope the referrals shows up. And there's a hypnotist B who have about $7,500 program, and they sold out. They have a wait list, and they pick actually who they work with. The difference actually is not a talent, is where they sit on this pyramid. That's the difference. So there's actually are four tiers, four levels, four different lives. Most hypnotists and healers spend their entire career stuck on the bottom tier, not because they're not gifted enough, they don't know what they're doing, is because nobody ever show them how to climb the ladder and go to the next tiers. So let me actually walk you through this tier one step at a time. So the tier one is actually the journalist. So the journalist, hypnotist, or the healers are they charge about 75 to $150 per session. Their pitch is like, I'm a hypnotherapist or I'm a hypnotist. I help people with whatever they need. You know, they they keep stuck because you compete with every other hypnotist in the town on prices. The prospect actually cannot tell the difference. So when they Google you and they shop around, they don't see any difference. Marketing feel endless because you are basically talking to everybody, so it's not even working. Income depends how many sessions you book each week, so that's how your income is actually depends on how many sessions you book. So that's the tier one, is the journalist. They are the journalist. The second one is actually the tier two. They are the specialist. So they specialize in something, and most of the time they have a package. They have a 3 session package, different package, anywhere from $1,500 to $300. So their pitch something sounds like this. I help women in their 40s release stress and anxiety using clinical hypnosis. The unlocked tier is actually the specialist in something, basically the specialist in like anxiety, the confidence, the procrastination, something. They pick who they want to work with, one specific person that you love working with. They pick actually what they want to work on, one specific problem they solve better than anybody else, and they have a package, the multiple session into one outcome based offer. They speak their language in the content, not generic hypnosis. So that's the tier number two. And the tier number three is actually the experts. So the tier number three is expert. They have a signature program. They charge anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 for the program. So they pitch something like this: I help high performing women and chronic anxiety in 90 days with my calm authority method. So what makes them experts? A signature name method that's uniquely yours, a specific measurable outcome on a defined timeline. They have a lot of case studies on that specific problem. The biggest thing, they focus on working on a niche. They helping like a volleyball player or the UFC fighter, the expert working with one specific niche, and they have a measurable outcome on that exact niche. You're invited to speak, write, and teach. They're not just take clients; they expert in this niche. And the tier number four, this tier makes the most amount of money across any industry, and that is actually a celebrity. So, celebrities in any industry across any niche, they make the most amount of money. For example, Tony Robbins, he's a celebrity life coach. Any life coach, like a journalist life coach, will charge about 125 to $200 an hour to $250 an hour. But on the other end, Tony Robbins have a program for $1 million a year. The guy is a billionaire, a life coach, a billionaire. Yeah, because he have that celebrity status. So that's where you make most amount of money, when you are the celebrity status. They actually don't introduce themselves. Their name is the introduction. Like Tony Robbins, everybody know Tony Robbins. So how celebrities operate? They write books, the media feature, the podcast, the keynote stages. They basically everybody. They're freaking famous. They have the premium retreats, the mastermind. They have the certification. Like you can become Tony Robbins certification coach. They have a licensing program. They have the wait list. They choose who they want to work with. Their name is the brand, and that's the biggest thing. They are the brand. So I think branding, it is very, very important. People actually come to them pre-sold. So if you want to make the most amount of money in your industry, achieve celebrity status in your industry. So let's run the numbers. Same hours, widely different income. So journalists, they, let's say they charge $100 a session, and they get one client a week. They're only making about 5,000 years. So this is a hobby. This is not even a business for a journalist. And then there's a specialist. They have my $2,000 package. They, let's say they get two clients per month. That's $48,000 a year. Still not a lot of money nowadays. And then if you're an expert and you have a program for $7,500, and you got like just one client per month, you make $90,000 a year. It's like climbing one tier can mean 10x to 17x more income with fewer clients and less burnout. That's the beauty of these tiers. So the HARP method, the four moves to claim your authority is HARP: heard, attract, resonate, and pivot. So let me know in the comments where you are on this pyramid, and if you need help. More importantly, if you need help to step up the tier, if you're a journalist and you want to be a specialist, book the call, and we will map out the current tier, identify any gaps, and design your climb.